I've worked with over 190 sports coaches across 10 different sports, with my best clients doing over $100,000 a month training athletes all online. I went from zero to over $32,000 a month in my own online baseball training business while training over 250 athletes in just 10 months. The one piece of content that's going to make the biggest difference when trying to make sales through social media is called a video sales letter. For some context, there's a huge difference between trying to sell stuff in person versus trying to sell stuff online. Most sports coaches today, when they get all their new clients in person, it's a direct referral. This could be somebody that you know or one of your current clients knows, and they told your current clients to come over and work with you. And while that's awesome, if you want to scale your training business online and expand it and reach people that you don't already know, then you have to manufacture the same process that occurred when you're trying to sell stuff to people in person. And so whenever you're trying to sell stuff, right, there are a few stages that somebody's going to go through. First of all, they're going to be unaware. They don't know who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Okay. And then eventually they're going to become aware of, maybe just the general problem that they have. So for an example, if you're, let's say, a baseball coach and you're trying to help pitchers get better, that's what I did. Then, somebody is going to come along and be like, oh, wow. If I want to throw, or if I want to play college baseball, I probably can't throw 82 miles an hour. I don't throw hard enough, right? So that would be an example of somebody becoming problem aware. Them becoming solution aware, if you're trying to sell online baseball training, would be like, oh, there are people out there who can actually help me throw harder than 82 miles an hour. That can actually help me throw, let's say, 95 miles an hour. There's somebody out there that can help me. There's a training program that can do it. Okay. Once they become solution aware, then they have to become product aware. Okay. And this is where online training comes in play, right? Because most people, they think you can only train with a coach if they're in your local area, if they have availability, if you can do one-on-one lessons. And so somebody needs to become aware of the fact that online training is actually a thing. And then they can actually, start to dive into the different online training programs that are out there, right? There are a bunch of different people trying to do online training right now. And so once they become aware of the fact that online training is actually a thing, once they become aware of the fact that online training is actually a product, then they can become most aware, which is where they know who you are, what you do, how you can help. They know they have a problem. They know that there's a solution. They know that you have the solution. They know that other people are doing it. And so this is when they're going to do a little bit more research and try and learn more about what it is that you do, who you've helped, different things like that. So we need to manufacture that process on the internet as opposed to in person, where, if somebody's going to come to you, probably already most aware. And most of those people that come to you, if you're an in-person sports coach, like let's say you do a free consultation or you do an assessment or something like that, you're probably converting like 80 to 90% of the people that you do an assessment with or a consultation with into actual paying customers, because they're coming to you already so warmed up, right? Hopefully that makes sense. They're coming to you, whereas on the internet, like if you're trying to sell stuff on social media and they just see your Instagram page for the first time, they are just becoming aware of who you are, right? They don't necessarily maybe know that they have a problem. They don't know that there's an actual solution to the problem. They don't know that there's a product to help them solve that problem. And they definitely do not know that you are somebody who can help them, that is qualified, et cetera, right? And this is only for, actually sports coaches that are actually good at, your job. If you're not a good coach, then this probably doesn't apply to you, okay? But on the internet, we need to manufacture that process, okay? And so what a lot of sports coaches are doing today is they're relying on short form organic content to get their name out there. And that is awesome, okay? You should be using short form content to get your name out there, to make more people aware of who you are. That is exactly what we teach people inside of our program, right? We teach them how to use social media, particularly Instagram. You could even do it on TikTok, although those leads typically aren't as serious. Or what we've seen work exceptionally well is Twitter or X, right? And those can be the drivers to get more people aware of who you are and what you do. However, the problem with short form content is typically a reel is like only maybe, let's say 30 seconds, right? And so in order for somebody to gather tons and tons and tons of information from you that they need to actually understand, the problem, the solution, the product, and the fact that you can actually help them to take them down, that buying journey, you actually need to, have them consume tons and tons of your short form content. Okay. So let's say your short form content is 30 seconds on average per reel. Let's say you post one time a day. Well, if they watch every single one of those reels for 30 days in a row, right? That is, let's say, 15 minutes of content. Okay. That is not a ton of time. Think about somebody comes onto your page, they're brand new, and then you have a 15-minute conversation with them. They're probably not going to be ready to buy. Okay. It just doesn't make sense. Think of you approach somebody in person and you had a 15-minute conversation with them and then, stuck your hand out and said, hey, I can help you. They don't trust you enough. They don't know you enough, and they probably don't like you enough. Okay. It doesn't matter how good you are at sales. You're just getting somebody who is not quite ready to buy yet because they don't know enough, and it's not their fault, right? So what we need to do on the internet is overcome that by leveraging long form content. Okay. Because a lot of people on social media are really afraid of, getting scammed. People are really, really skeptical of people over the internet. And so the best way to build trust with that audience, to show them who you are, what you can do, and how you can help, is by creating a longer form piece of content, or, ideally multiple, but you really only need one. Okay. And that's where the video sales letter comes into play. That is exactly why I am making this video right now. Oops. That is exactly why I'm making this video right now. Okay. Because you probably saw myself on Instagram. Maybe you found me from YouTube, but you don't know who I am. You don't know how I can help. You don't know who I've worked with. You don't know that I've worked with, tons of the biggest online coaches in the space, right? If you're particularly in the baseball space and you see a bunch of people posting on social media, odds are I've worked with them in some capacity. Okay. And so you probably didn't know that if this is your first time watching one of my videos, or if you just found out about who I am, you probably didn't know that, which is exactly why I make these videos. So that way you can actually learn about who I am, what I do, how I can help. And that way you actually know what I am talking about, or you actually know that I know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know if that made sense. That was kind of a word salad, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? You watch these videos so that you can consume more information from me, build up the trust factor, get to know me a little bit more, hopefully like me enough to eventually work with us one-on-one, right? But we're never going to just shove it down your throat and say, hey, you just followed me on Instagram, now you need to pay us, right? It doesn't make sense, okay? You need to consume more of my content. And so that's the exact same thing that you should be doing as an online sports coach. If you're actually trying to make sales through your social media pages, I cannot stress how important long form content is. And in particular, one piece of content that is called a video sales letter that shows who you are, what you do, and how you can help. So with all of that being said, what exactly is a video sales letter? So a video sales letter is basically a video that is designed to show people who you are, what you can do, and how you can help in one specific video, right? Instead of somebody having to go to your Instagram page and watching 30 of your reels in a row, they can watch one longer form video and get all that information up front. And that way we can build that know, like, and trust factor in a much more efficient process. Okay. They only have to sit down and watch one video. Okay. Ideally, you want this video no longer than 20 minutes. Although my video sales letters tend to be a little bit longer because there's a lot more information. There are a lot more questions that people have when it comes to working with us. How does the process work? How do you train athletes online? There are a million different questions that we have to answer. And so typically my video sales letters are a little bit longer. And if you want to check out my main video sales letter, then there'll be a link to it at the end of this video. And there'll also be a link to it in the description where you can go watch it. And that way you can actually get, a ton of value out of it. You can typically watch those videos and take the information and actually get results, right? And so you want this long form piece of content to be very, very, very valuable, okay? You want somebody to be able to watch this video and actually get results from it, okay? Because if you're not showing people how good you are at what you do, if you're not showing people how much information you have or what you know, then what is the likelihood that they're going to trust you with their dollars? The answer is very, very, very low, right? And so that's exactly why we teach our clients to do things like this, is make video sales letters so that way they can show, who they are, what they do, how they can help, the actual methodologies that they teach, proof that they've actually worked with other people who are just like the people they're trying to attract, and then what it actually looks like to be inside that program. So a question that I get all the time is, what format does the video sales letter need to be? Honestly, you can make something where it's just a talking head video like this. You're just talking to the camera, delivering the information that you need to, or you can make a video that's like a Google slideshow. And if you don't know how to record your screen with your face in the corner, I make a lot of videos like that. It's called Loom. You can just look it up. Super easy. You can use Loom. Or I've even seen people in my program use just a Google document where they walk through all the information on the Google document, because it's much less about how can I make the most entertaining video and much more about how can I deliver this information in a way that the viewer is going to be able to watch this video, get a ton of value, and know exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Okay. If you're really good at editing and you're really good at making content and things like that, you can absolutely spice it up to increase the retention on that video. I'm never saying to not do that. I think it is actually very, very, very important. However, the most important thing that you want to take into consideration is the fact that the information in itself is super valuable and it's easy to digest. Another question we get all the time is, where should I host this video sales letter? So for most of my clients, I tell them to do it on YouTube, exactly how I do it. And the reason why is because it's a lot easier to put it on YouTube. Somebody can watch your main video sales letter and then all of your other content. And that way they can, binge watch your content in a sense and really get to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help in a much shorter amount of time, right? We're condensing all the information that you need in order to actually make, a buying decision, right? Because people are going to buy from people they know, like, and trust. In order to build up that know, like, and trust factor, they have to have all the information. They have to have all these questions answered. They're not just going to book a call with you or pay you if they don't already know what, have all these questions answered beforehand. Think back to the in-person example. When you're getting a new client and you take them in for an assessment, let's say, they're already coming to you with all of these questions answered, right? Because the in-person model is obviously widely accepted, okay? And if it's a referral, maybe it's from a friend or, somebody that you work with referred this athlete over to you. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? The handoff is much warmer, okay? And so you don't have to do all these other things in order to, show people that you can actually help. And that's really what marketing is in a nutshell, is by delivering the information and getting the people that you need to see this stuff to actually consume your content, okay? Because if everybody out there who is your potential customer knew who you were, what you did, and how you could help, you would have more clients than you knew what to do with, okay? And so that is the importance of, this video sales letter. And that's why we typically push people to YouTube, although some people will host it on a website, because it's very, very easy to just go through that website, book a call on the next page, things like that. That requires a little bit more technical skill. And so most of the time, I'll be honest, sports coaches don't have that technical skill. And so it's much easier to just post it on YouTube and start building out a YouTube library of a bunch of different video sales letters that deliver the information that is needed in order for somebody to make a purchasing decision. So now that we have an understanding of what a video sales letter actually is, the format that you should be using, where you should host it, and honestly why it's important, let's dive in to the actual framework of the video, right? Because if you're just going to put out a video where there's no structure and you're just talking at the camera, it could end up going pretty well. However, we want the video sales letter to answer questions for people as they come up, right? And typically the way that those things come up is, who are you? Why should I listen to you? Will this work for me? How does this work? What should I do if I want to work with you, right? And so we're going to follow that exact framework when we're trying to follow this video sales letter, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a hook, okay? And so if you know anything about content, if you know anything about content creation, you need to be able to hook people in. Watch the beginning of this video, right? And I immediately qualify myself with a big, bold claim, okay? And the reason why we're trying to do that is to get you interested in the video, because If somebody doesn't actually consume the video, then it doesn't matter how valuable the information is, okay? So we have about, on a YouTube video, about 9 seconds to grab the viewer's attention and then get them to actually be bought in to the rest of the video, right? Obviously, you have to continue to sell them to watch the rest of the video, but the hook is going to be the most important thing, right? So we're ideally going to make a big, bold claim. And then bonus points if you can qualify yourself right off the rip, okay? So you make a big, bold claim, right? So you say, in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can gain 5 miles an hour of exit velocity in 12 weeks or less, right? That's a big, bold claim, okay? And obviously we don't wanna make false claims, okay? So disclaimer, no false claims. Because if you make a false claim in your video and it doesn't make sense, right? You're going to lose that trust with your audience. People aren't going to come back and continue to watch your stuff, right? You can make big, bold claims, okay? Just like I made at the beginning of this video. I have clients that do $100,000 a month training athletes online. I scaled my business from 0 to over 32K a month out of a backyard just on my laptop, right? That is a big, bold claim, but it's all true, okay? And so I leverage that in order to get you to watch the rest of the video or at least be interested, right? And so you should be doing the exact same thing with your hook, okay? Number 2 is we want to qualify ourselves, right? And so this can be, your credibility as a coach. It can be as a player, right? Who you were as a player. Let's say you were a really high level athlete and you're trying to get into the online training game. You want to qualify yourself as a player, right? So you say, in this video, I'm going to show you how to gain 5 miles an hour of exit velocity in 12 weeks. This is your first time here. My name is Nick Neville. I played, let's say I played in the major leagues. I didn't play in the major leagues, disclaimer, but you understand what I'm trying to say, hopefully, right? So we're going to hook them in and then we're immediately going to qualify ourselves, okay? And then after that, we're going to show proof. Okay, and when we show that proof, we want to show that whatever we're saying, whatever claim we made, we want to back it up, okay? So we're going to back up the claim immediately. Because if we think the questions that people are going to ask in this order is who are you and why should I listen to you? Will this work for me, right? So this answers who are you and why? Why should I listen, right? Who are you and why should I listen, okay? And then this is will this work for me? Right? Will this actually work? Okay, yes, it will work, right? And you want to back up the claim with proof of like maybe an athlete who supports the claim that you just had, right? And typically this is going to be either your best case study or it's going to be who your ideal client is, right? So think about who your ideal client is on a very, very deep level and promote in the proof section your ideal client. Who embodies that ideal client? Who do you want to attract more of, right? If you had 1,000 of this person, your life would be literally amazing, okay? We want to promote that story, okay? And right after we show that proof, you want to tell your story, okay? Because if we think about the buying cycle or the buyer's journey that people go through, right? They go from unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware, and we're trying to take them down that funnel within one specific video, okay? And we also need to understand that people need to know, like, and trust you in order to actually pay you, right? People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so when we're telling our story, right, we're just going to say like our background and give people context, okay? And ideally, you want to say why you're coaching, right? Why are you actually coaching? Because if your goal is just to make a ton of money and you're in coaching, you're probably not going to attract a ton of people, okay? People want to work with people who have like a greater mission, who have a why, right? My why is I want to help, ex-athletes or coaches create a bigger, a better life for themselves, right? To live a better life, have a life of freedom. Online training helped me quit my 9-to-5 job, right? And so I promote that as much as I possibly can because I say, look, if I can do it, so can you. Here's the proof. Here are a bunch of other people that I've worked with, right? And so you should be doing the exact same thing. Oftentimes, you want to help, the athletes that maybe like a younger version of you, sidestep all the problems that you have. And so that way they can kind of step on your shoulder and go further than you did. At least that's what I think most coaches who are good at their job do. Okay. And so after we tell our story and after we make these claims, people are going to want to know, but how does this work? Okay. And that's where we go into, like, let's say the 3 pillars. And you don't necessarily have to have 3 pillars in your program. Could be 2, could be 5, but really we want to have 3 pillars here. And the reason why the 3 pillars are so important is because people want to know, how does this work? And so some tangible examples, okay, when I was doing my online training business, my 3 pillars were number one, it was elite mechanics, right? So what makes a really, really good pitcher? Okay. Number 1, they're going to have elite mechanics. And then we're going to talk about what those elite mechanics look like. Okay. And then examples of it. And then number 2 was high level athleticism, right? We need to teach people to become a high level athlete. And then we're going to show examples. Okay. And then number 3 was mentorship. And then we're going to show examples. Okay. And ideally, in these examples, we're telling stories. And you want proof. So what do I mean by that, right? So let's say you're talking about elite level mechanics or like high level, like becoming a high level athlete or having mentorship. If you're going to talk about elite level mechanics, then you can show, hey, this client went from this to this after working on his mechanics. Here are the results, right? Here is tactically what we worked on. And you want to say, like, let's say you're a pitching coach. We worked on his glove side. We worked on his arm action, and those things helped him clean up his mechanics to therefore throw harder. And then now he's at, XYZ school. Okay. And so that's what we want to do in this section, right? Is we want to tell stories and show proof. And so you can probably think of, your 3 core, pillars of success that you think are very, very important. They should be overarching principles, right? They should be overarching principles. Because if you feel like there are, 78 different things that make an athlete successful, you're correct. However, there are probably some principles that you follow. And if you don't follow principles, then it's probably going to be very difficult to recreate results with your athletes over and over and over again. Just being honest, right? Because not every athlete is the same, but if you follow principles and you follow frameworks, it'll be a lot easier to implement those principles and frameworks into those different athletes and solve their problems individually based on these principles. Okay. And so we want to create overarching principles that we have. Okay. And there's probably like a methodology that you have. Okay. And so once we walk through these 3 pillars and we show people, hey, this is how we took this guy from this to this using elite mechanics. This is how we took this guy from this to this, helping him become a high level athlete. It's a training program, etc. And this is how we took this guy from this to this by providing mentorship for him, right? By being a guide. Okay. And so once we walk through the 3 pillars, then we're going to walk through what the actual program looks like. We're going to go through a program overview, right? So we'll say, okay, so if you're a, pitcher, I'll use my example, right? If you're a pitcher and you're trying to throw harder and you want our direct help implementing this stuff that we just went over, then I'm going to walk through exactly how we can help you, okay? And so the program overview is going to be maybe like, let's say, a screen share of the program you have built out. Okay, it's going to walk through like the actual deliverables. And so what do I mean by deliverables? That could be like, okay, let's say you do like weekly one-on-one calls with them, or you do like unlimited text messaging, right? Or you do video breakdowns or video analysis, or, you help them with nutrition or whatever, right? What actually comes with the program? That's what a deliverable is. And then you can do the screen share that's like, hey, this is what the actual app looks like. Okay, you walk them through. And like I said, you should be using something like Loom because it's very easy to use. Okay. And so you're going to walk through exactly what the program looks like. Maybe you're going to talk about the time frame. So like, let's say it's a 12-week program. Could be longer, it could be shorter, right? That's not the purpose of this video. We can talk about creating an offer in another one. However, this is what you should be talking about in the program overview, right? Show them actually what they're going to get, okay? Tell them exactly what's going to come in this program. Tell them the time frame, what they should expect. Be very, very, very clear about what that looks like, okay? Because a confused buyer never buys, okay? And so we want to be very clear. And at this point, we've walked through, number one, we made a big, bold claim. We've qualified ourselves and showed them, hey, you should listen to me. This is why. We've showed them proof that this works for other people. We've helped them get to know us a little bit more. We've showed them how exactly this thing works, okay? And then we're showing, okay, but this is what the actual program looks like. This is what these people are using to get these results. And then after that, a quick call to action. Okay, what to do if they want more info. So we've taken them from, maybe just a little bit problem aware, right? Because if they found us on social media, if they found us on Instagram, they should know a little bit about us. They should, have followed us for a reason. And they come to this video, let's say on YouTube, or you send it to them and you say, hey, give this video a watch and let me know your takeaways, right? And so they start going through this. You make a big, bold claim. You walk them through who you are, what you do, how you can help, proof that you can help others, why you do what you do, right? And why you're so passionate about coaching, then how your training methodologies actually work, and then how the program actually works. And so if they want more information, if they want one-on-one help, then here's what to do next, right? And typically we'll say like book a call or like DM me on Instagram, or apply, right? However you typically get people to convert into paying customers, that is what you should be telling them to do in the call to action. Because if you don't tell people what to do, if you don't make it easy, I'm going to write that down. Make it easy. Okay? Make it easy and convenient for them to get in contact with you. This is what to do. Click this link. Right? If you watch my main video sales letter, I say go down below in the description and book a call, right? It's very, very, very simple. It's very easy. They know exactly what to do because I say, if you want more information, if you want our help directly implementing these 3 pillars, right? Using this program that I just walked you through, here's what to do next, okay? And so that's exactly what the video sales letter framework looks like. As a recap, we're going to hook them in and make a big, bold claim, give them a reason to watch. Okay. Then we're going to say who we are and why they should listen to us. Then we're going to show them that this will work for them. We're going to tell them why we're doing this. Okay. We're going to show them how all this works. Then we're going to show them exactly what it looks like to work together and then what to do next if they want to work with us. If you're a sports coach and you want to learn more about how we help our coaches expand their training businesses online, we've helped over 190 coaches across 10 different sports. And I obviously had a lot of success in my own remote training business. Then what I would recommend you do is click on the link somewhere on the screen right now. It'll take you to my main video sales letter. You can also click the link in the description and go ahead and watch that. And that'll actually give you a really good frame of reference to know how you can make your own video sales letter. I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you in the next one.